Over here is the space where I had my cabbages growing, and I've obviously since harvested them. And I have this little area in front of me that's now standing vacant, and a little bit of a patch over there. So I'm going to use these areas to plant a couple of seeds in, and I'm going to do it now while the weather's kind of wet and mizz, because at least I know that my seeds will be well watered in their early phase. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come around and just pull out the one or two weeds we've got growing here in the garden, keep it neat while I'm here and managed. The weeds themselves will go to the chickens, and then we'll plant as much of what we can, and then I need to make sure I actually label these things. Alright, I guess no messing around, let's get started. Just quickly went in, grabbed a couple of these labels, and obviously my coffee, and then I'm going to start looking at what seeds I have versus what labels I've got. This is a balancing act. A little bit of messing. Okay, so I know I do have duplicates, and I know I have stuff here that doesn't have a designated home yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check what seeds I have versus what labels I've got, and I guess I'll start with those because it's the least amount of work. So I see here I've got a double-sided label. This one says Australian brown, and I know I did pick up onions, but they may have been the Texas variety. Okay, this is kohlrabi. I actually do have a kohlrabi tag, so we'll plant some of those. But where? I think we'll go here anyway. Then lettuce, that's for the containers. Another variety of lettuce. Also, Chantenay Karoo carrots. I know I've got a tag for that one. And for them, I am going to plant my carrots, hopefully down this section here of the garden. Two varieties. This Chantenay Karoo. As well as these purple carrots. We were actually gifted these by Duncan's mom. And it says you should plant them in spring, and then you'll be able to harvest them in summer, autumn. So we are obviously late in planting, but we do have a fairly mild climate here. So I'm just going to give them the best shot as well. And I'll probably just do 2 lines straight down here, and we'll see what we get. Then for this area, I was planning on planting bush beans. So I have 2 varieties here. I have orchid beans as well as just a bag of seeds that says bush beans. So I'm going to plant the orchid beans along the edge here. Probably like 3. So it'll be 1, 2, and 3. So they do have the fence that they can be strung up to. Because I know in my containers, while they say they're bush beans, they're fairly large in terms of bushes. They are a tall but slender bush, a lot like a vine, but I'm not going to argue. So I'll plant the kohlrabi a little bit further forward. Those are the 2 varieties of carrot, and they're going to go down here. I still have these bush beans, which I think I may plant in the back over here, because I do have another blocked off area that I can plant in. Then I have some radishes. Radishes I'm aiming to plant over here. I have some leeks. And some spring onions. Spring onions I'm going to put in a container. And then the leeks. I didn't actually even bring those onions. The leeks I'm going to grow in this area over here. Just a line. Right, let me show you over here. as you come into the garden, you step up. This area here, I'm planning on planting some radishes, possibly down this little line here. These cabbages will come out, and then this area will be available for our next planting of things. I'm not 100% sure what will go in here, but we'll decide that when we get there. Then as for this little section of the garden here, I'm planning on planting my orchid beans along this fence. Like I said, maybe 4 orchid beans. Then here I've got my kohlrabi seeds, and I'll use this area just in front to plant the kohlrabi. My 2 varietals of carrot that will plant all the way down here alongside the spinach and the chard. And then over here I have got the space where I'll plant my bush beans. I think I might do 6 in there. Along here I've got a couple more containers. These have got herbs in them. So here I've got a thyme plant, and over here I've got a thyme plant. But none of these containers are doing particularly well, and they probably need a nutrient refresh. I did take some worm tea out of this worm box here, and I've put it into the watering can, because after the storm there was quite a lot of the base of the worm box over there, and I didn't really want it going to waste. So I will take that worm tea and I will use it to water these containers quite thoroughly, just to put a little bit of goodness back. And I'll take some of this compost that I've got here and top up these containers. This is where I plan on planting the different varieties of lettuce. Down here are my 2 varieties of lettuce. I've just got this Great Lakes variety from Mayford, and then these I actually got from America. Duncan's sister and mom got us some of these sought after seeds and brought them back with them, so we'll be planting some of these. Oh, I should have brought the lettuce seeds with me. Let me quickly go grab them. I am leaving this. I'm not sure what it is, but I do like the way it looks, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to pull out all these other little weeds here. Some of them are gooseberries. We've got gooseberries growing everywhere. This is what we're working with. I have got a bag full of beans, and it literally just says bush beans. I do not know what variety they are. They are quite a longish bean though. I know that sounds very strange, but the actual bean is quite a long shaped bean. So I'm going to use 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So in here we've got the bush beans growing. So bush beans. Right, next up is carrots. So there are 1 or 2 stray leaves here. This leek doesn't need to be here, so I'm going to take it out. Alright, so I'm going to start this in, and I'm just going to weed as I go. This is a marigold, it can stay. Again, with weeding, it is just easier if you stay on top of it. It doesn't always work out that way, obviously. It's a garden, things want to grow in it. Just sometimes helps to keep a watchful eye so that you're not overwhelmed by it eventually. There are also benefits to leaving the weeds in, and if you've got the space and the inclination, cool for you. I'm planting some longer term crops that maybe take a little less maintenance, and honestly that's because soon there won't just be 1 garden to garden, but 2. For this space, I'm going to create a little furrow here, starting round about where these seeds are, just opening up the soil, making a little row all the way to here. Now, the reason I'm taking the chance planting these carrots now is because they do like a very moist soil in their early days. So I'm going to take these, especially, just put this marker in here. Take a handful of seeds and just slowly sprinkle them in. Now, they are carrots, so the likelihood is, yes, we are going to have to come through here and thin them. But that's not the end of the world. Chooks will eat the carrot tops. We'll eat the baby carrots, maybe even the carrot tops, depending on what we're making. And now, we just hope that all the odds are in their favor. This little tag here just says carrots on it. That's fine. It is a carrot. It just happens to be the purple carrot this year. Same thing again. What is nice to see is that there is a fair amount of earthworms in the soil, so that bodes well for the work we've done with the compost. I still have quite a few purples in my hand, and I'm not ready to let this be it, so I may just go chaos plant these. In this area over here, I have got nothing growing. And I would like to fill this space with something that is useful. We do quite enjoy potato and leek soup, and we like to dry the leeks if we have excess to make leek powder. So I'm just going to do the same thing that I did with the carrots and essentially draw myself a little line here from the one side to the other. And in these two furrows, I'm just going to come along and plant some leeks. So here I've got my 4 orca beans, and I'm just going to space them along this fence here. 1, 2, 3, and 1 back this side, and that is 4. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to plant the kohlrabi now. I feel like there's something else I could be planting here that could be a little bit more productive for our garden. Especially since I still have time to plant the kohlrabi. It doesn't have to go in the ground right now. Okay, so maybe for this time being, this little patch actually remains open until I can figure out exactly what it is I want to plant here. Originally, my plan was to remove this marigold and plant it in this space here, and then plant the radishes here. But what I may do is plant the radishes all the way down here. They don't take very long to grow, and at least then the soil will be covered. So I'm just quickly digging the furrow for my radishes. They do like loose soil, so try and put them in a place where there is enough space for them to bulb out, I suppose. This is the variety of radishes I'm growing. I'm not sure what it is. I've pulled off the name. So just in case you're wondering, these guys. Oh. Alright, so this is my last stop for the day. I'm just going to pull these weeds out here. And then I'm going to convert this entire container, hopefully, into spring onions. So I'm just going to loosen up the soil slightly. Just turn it. Label in. And I'm going to use whatever seeds are left in this packet. And then right in the very center of this pot, I'm actually planting this little cucumber seed. I'm just going to push it down there and cover it up. Right, so since there weren't that many seeds in the spring onion container, I just pushed in an Ashley cucumber seed. I do have like 5 or 6 more Ashley seeds. I'm going to plant them into a seed tray in the hope of getting the best germination there, so that I can have some seedlings to take with me when we start the second garden. Hey guys, so thanks for hanging out with me while the weather was still good, and we did manage to beat the rain and plant out many of our little seedlings. And I just want to say thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in following us on our journey into our second garden, which hopefully will affectionately become known as the Homestead Garden.